Hello and welcome back to another Project Zomboid video from me, Jordan, where I look at a particular type of structure in the game and I give you my opinion, backed up by some fact and numbers, as to which one is the best of that particular type. Last time it was fire stations, this time we're going to be looking at gun stores. So yeah, let's just crack on with that, shall we? The first gun store that we're going to be looking at is the Stars and Stripes gun store in the mall, specifically the Grand Ohio Mall that you'll find in the northeast corner of Louisville. Now, again, just like last time, I'm on debug mode so I don't get my arse ripped out of me by all these zombies. Although, to be fair, they do tend to attack you in the head instead, so I might be safe. Sorry, silly little joke there. Yeah, so the thing about the Stars and Stripes mall is that Stars and Stripes gun store is that it is in the mall. The mall, as any player will know, is a pretty dangerous place to go. The fact that the gun store itself has got so many zombies inside it makes it pretty damn dangerous. But we're going to go through the whole thing, the whole process, and we will tackle it from there. So to start off with, Stars and Stripes, you got to we know there's no upstairs to this one. Every building, or at least as far as I'm aware, all the shops in the mall are single-story shops, which means there's no way up. There's just this area, which, as we can see, is we've got one room here, a second sort of shuttered off room, and then this back room. You will notice there's a door to this back room, which means that as well as the shutters, we actually have another back entrance. So because entrances is a pretty important thing, and we're gonna have to go inside in a minute, we've got this one window. I'm going to ignore shutters for every single structure we go to. Got another window here, which I don't know if we'll just have a quick look. That does look into, it's hard to see, but it does actually look into the shop. And then we've got this back entrance that we're going to run around to now. So by my reckoning, that means that there are 3 actual ways into the gun shop, which is pretty damn good, all things considered. That's just 3 places you need to defend. I don't know what the deal is with shutters and sheets. I don't know if you can cover them up. Oh, keyboard went a bit weird there. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with shutters and sheets. We will actually test that. I think it's this one. No, okay. Can I unlock it? Oh, this is awkward. Maybe it's not that one. No, that's the spare one, which means it'll be. Oh yeah, here we go. That makes sense. And of course, it's locked, isn't it? Can we unlock it? Come on. All right. I don't like having to do this. Object. Get door key. There we go. There we go. Much better. No, I'm in the wrong one. Where is it? How far back am I need to go? Oh, this has gone right pear-shaped, hasn't it? Oh, it was the next one. Ah, I was so close. So close. Ignore all this. I do know what I'm doing. I didn't plan it. I just did it. Well, I say I didn't plan it. There we go. Oh, look, and it was already unlocked for me. Fantastic. So, yes, as I was saying, you've got the gun store. There's 3 ways in. Oh, look, we leveled up sprinting. There's 3 ways in. You've got the window, and then the back entrance that we went through before, which means it's fairly easy to defend. That, for reference, gives it a score of 8, because I'm rounding down for these. I say that in reality, this has got 3 rooms. Because if you're leaving shutters alone, this is 1 room on its own. You've got this 1 main room, and then you've got this storage room. That 3 rooms, by my reckoning, means that there's 2 spare ones. I'd probably turn this into my main room, maybe the back one into my main room. Yeah, probably the back one actually. probably storage and stuff. Yeah, treat it as like storage. Go put my bed in that one, and then all the essential like cooking and all that kind of crap, I'll pop them in here. Which would not be easy because if you're gonna get a cooker, oh Christ, I know what's banging. If you're gonna get a cooker, you're gonna have a bit of work moving it about, popping it in there. But if you're gonna set up in the mall, you're expecting to have quite a bit of hard work in the process, aren't you? So yeah, 2 spare rooms. That makes it 4 points. Is it easy to expand? Well, not particularly. It's quite a weird one, this, in that I'm just going to break the window because I can't be asked to run all the way around again. There we go. It's weird, isn't it? You can expand into these other... What are we doing? There we go. Don't know where the lights are. Oh, there's a light switch. Pop the lights on. With a sledgehammer, you can in theory expand into either of these next 2 buildings, next 2 stores. But the thing is, if you do that, you're going to have a bit of an issue with the zombies that are in there, trying to barricade them off. You could... Oh, it's very noisy. They are banging about, aren't they? You could probably get away with using the back entrance as a secondary location. If you were to, let's just go back out there. You've got a few ways you could go to get you in and out of other structures. Let's kill this one. Well, let's try and kill this one, it seems. There we go. There's a few places you could go with this back doorway, but the trouble is, again, you'd need to sort of barricade it off at one of the ends and then work your way through individually. I don't personally think that it's worth expanding, but you can expand. So I'm going to give it the 5 points because it's more complicated than a wall situation. It's a breakdown situation. Right, next up, is there space for a generator, water collectors, and farming? Now, the fact that we are inside a mall, there is no space for farming, categorically. Water collectors, they need to be outside. You're not going to be able to put a water collector anywhere notably safe. Like, the nearest actual exit, you've got to go all the way down here. All the way, nearly there. Slowly but surely, making our way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Squawk. There we go. Convenient exit sign with all these zombies hanging out. You could farm here. You could put water collectors here. But I am much more a fan of putting all these things somewhere where they are secure. So as far as I'm concerned, that is not within base range. Water collectors, typically speaking, if you're using a water collector for anything other than farming, odds are you've either plumbed it in, which means that we need one upstairs that can collect water. That ain't going to happen here. Or, more likely, we need water in an emergency. And we're not going to have time for an emergency run and collect some water from all the way over there. It's not happening. It's not safe to do that. I don't realistically see that being a viable option. So, there is space to put a generator, because you could put one in any of these 3 rooms. I don't enjoy putting one inside the building, but you can do it. So yeah, 3 points for that. Nearby resources. Now, I don't want to be a dick about this, but we're in a shopping mall. I am not going to go around the shopping mall and say, okay, what shops are there? But you're in a shopping mall. If you want to find something, it's going to be here. Absolutely anything you could want to get, realistically, is going to be here. You've got bookshops, you've got medical supplies, you've got, we've got guns here. Just go up to a random container. Okay, that piece of empty. That's not convenient. There you go. We've got guns, we've got scopes, we've got ammo. Just on these, we've got duffel bags, hunting knives, military boots. Oh, they do like a good military boot. Some extra clothing, just in case. Ham radios over here. Just the back room here has got extra. No, that's not got anything, but we've got scopes, military hats. You've got all sorts of weaponry, melee and otherwise. I'm surprised by that. I didn't expect there to be any melee weapons here. Point is, if weaponry is what you're after, ranged weaponry is what you're after, this is your place.
You don't need to go anywhere else inside the mall for this. But you're not going to get anything else that you want. Oh, I hate that noise. Really do. You're not going to get anything else that you want. Oh, Christ. Come on. There we go. Anything else that you want from there. So you're going to want to go to one of these other stores. That looks like a clothing shop. I said I wasn't going to do this. It's a clothing and furniture by the looks of it. Bookshop of some sort. Assume it's books, toys, newsstand. We're just going to have a look at the immediate. Just the immediate. We're not going to stress too much. The train ride that doesn't seem to have a train. Mannequin there. Lease. Oh, popcorn, if you want popcorn. Another clothing shop. Just keeping on running. Oh, no, there we go. Toilet. Oh, there's a food place. You could get food from here if you really wanted to. If we can find the back entrance. Which I'm assuming we're probably going to go around the actual back to do. See, I should have scoped this out, really. I did actually do a lot more work on this than it seems. Because I'd have had to, wouldn't I? Because it looks like I didn't have any fucking work into this. So there is some food available, fridge and otherwise. But the trouble is, generally speaking, you're not going to have a massive amount that you can get out of this place. So you'd have to have a look around. Again, the thing about the mall is that it's so bloody busy, which is another point we're going to come up to actually in a minute, that I don't think that it's a viable place to go for anything other than a smash and grab. I think it's a terrible idea to set up in the mall. But if you were going to set up in the mall, the gun shop might well be one of the better places to do it. As I say, there's only the 3 entrances. No, that's not the way. Go the other way. No, don't fall down, you stupid builder, man. I'm trapped in the... Die. Alright, let me out. Let me out! I want to get back in. There we go. Yeah, with the 3 entrances, and we're gonna quickly check the what do you call it now? Items. Where is it? Sheet. That one. Well, I'll add a few. We have got them. Yes. Okay. No, you cannot add a sheet to that. So you'd have to add it to this. And the thing is, think about adding a sheet. If you close the curtain there, it only goes halfway down. So if we just go back outside this one, just so that we've got a... I could have gone out that one. We can still see a little bit through there. Not so much now, actually. Maybe they can't see us. Interesting. The things we learn, eh? I've always been a bit nervous about sheets on full-size windows like that, just because they don't always seem like they're going to do that much work. But it does seem to cover the whole thing. Maybe that's something that'll change with a new update that's going to be coming out. I know that they do daily, well, not daily, but regular updates on it at least. So that's something to consider. So yeah, it's a mall, or as my notes say, it's a fucking mall. So we know there's going to be stuff here. It's just a matter of finding it. And I don't think it's worth it. I think it's too dangerous. But the option is there. If you come in here, you're expecting the danger. Maybe your whole gimmick is that you want to clear the whole mall out. In which case, go for it, right? But it's not my thing. In fact, you know what? If you want to see me try that, if you want to see me try on standard mode to clear them all, leave a comment. I'll probably die pretty damn quickly. There'll be a few parameters in place to start it off, but we'll have to see. Maybe I'll give myself a place to get settled in first before we actually properly do it. Maybe even here, since it seems to be a place to work that's worth doing it. But yeah, leave a comment if that's something you want to see. What am I getting myself in for? Fucking hell. Okay. So yeah, 10 points because everything's nearby. And then the local population. When I was doing the fire station video, my stance was that either it's really busy and you only get 5 points, or it's not very busy
and you get up to 15 depending on how not busy it is. If it's basically deserted, I won't say dead because they are undead. If it's basically deserted, then you get full 15 points. I have since reconsidered that scoring system, and I think that this is busy to the point of suicidal. I mean, it's so clear. I broke one window, and all hell broke loose. Oh, I can't even. I'm going to grab a gun. I'm going to fire a single gun if I can get one. Come on, come on. How hard is it to find a fucking gun in her? There we go. Grab that. Hasn't got any rounds. Oh, this is going to take some time, isn't it? Grip in both hands. What? It takes 308. Oh, Christ. You can see I don't use guns very often, can't you? So it needs an MSR 788 magazine. So neither of those. This is going to be fun. M16 magazine for that one. No. Come on. You see, I was originally hoping that this wouldn't take very long to do, but now that I'm actually doing a thing, like a proper thing, it's going to take a little while, isn't it? Because I've not thought it through. I've just said, yeah, let's do this thing. Let's test it out. Yeah, come on. See, there is good loot here. Like, big hiking bags are bloody helpful. I do love a good hiking bag. No, alright, let's have a look in the back. I just want a gun I can just pick up and use, right? Oh, hang on, it's got the magazine, hasn't it? Oh, I'm an idiot. Remove eject the magazine. What bullets to use? 0.30. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, everyone. Open them all. Alright, insert the bullets. I need 3 bullets. Jesus Christ. It is not worth doing that. I'm going to go outside just for a moment. I don't do much shooting in this game. It's not my go-to. But we're going to stand outside. We're going to see what, if anything, we can hit. Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. Let's just break another bit in this glass then, shall we? Let's see what happens. We give it literally less than a minute. So, oh Christ, one of them just jumped down. Look, that one just fell right down. So they're clearly trying to get something out of us. They're coming down the stairs. They don't seem all that fussed. So it's less of an impact than it was before. Don't know why this one's standing right next to us. Very interesting. Let's equip that. I think one of these is that we are not very noisy. Is it ghost mode, maybe? Ah, yes. Cheats. Ghost mode. There we go. There we go. Now that we've shot that, all of a sudden, we have a hell of a lot more. So, the guns aren't necessarily... I mean, Christ, look at that. That is one hell of an echo, isn't it? And that's just one side. Let's scoot around over here. Yep, they're coming. All those ones. This would be a fucking suicide mission, okay? Hanging out here is a suicide mission. Yeah, if I wasn't cheating right now, which I'm very open about the fact that that's what I'm doing, because I'm going to level here. Anyone who does this without cheating is a lunatic. And this is just normal settings. This isn't Apocalypse. They're like really fucking dangerous mode. It's just regular settings. Only difference between that and how people would play it is that I am currently cheating, so that I don't have my organs ripped out and become one of those in the space of 5 seconds, just so we've got time to actually do this stuff. So yes, no upstairs. It's got 2 spare rooms. It's fairly easy to secure, but with only having the 3 entrances, you have to clear it out, but that's not the end of the world. That's probably going to actually be quite a lot harder than it ought to be when you consider the zombies trying to get at you. But if you are lucky and you are experienced, you might be able to clear it without too much trouble. I suppose maybe if you were to lure a lot of them out to another area, that's probably your best bet. lure zombies somewhere else. Maybe even over here somehow. But that's for better people than me to know how to do at this point. You can expand it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's a lot more work than it ought to be. You can put a generator in, but you haven't really got any farming or water supply. You're in a mall, so you can pretty much get what you need if you can brave it. And the local population is so vast that you don't get any points. And all in all, that gives us a score of 35 out of 75 possible marks, which sounds terrible, but it's a lot better than I expected it to be, if I'm honest. I thought we'd be in the low, well, I thought we'd be in the 20s, maybe the low to mid 20s. But somehow we've managed to, I just want to kill this one. Oh, God, a bit of lag there. I don't know what, oh, he's got a key on him. Lovely. No particular reason why. We're a bit mucky now. Sorry, I get so distracted doing these. So yeah, let's move on to the next place, shall we? So we're gonna cut that here, and when you rejoin me, which will be in a few seconds for you, we'll be at the Ready Prep Army Surplus Store in Louisville. So now we're at the Ready Prep Army Issue Surplus Store, which you can find in Northwest Louisville. It actually took a bit of work for me to find this one because I had misunderstood where the roads were in relation to it. Well, in fact, the fact that I had mistaken this section down here for a road, and that is not on the map. So there I was trying to work out where the fuck that road is. I thought it was one of these ones, but no, it's this green building here. So first and foremost, a bit of a spoiler alert. None of the buildings on this list have an upstairs, which is not ideal, but that's the way it is. But yeah, we're gonna have a look at the army surplus, the Ready Prep store now. So no upstairs. How many spare rooms has it got? Is the big question that we're all going to be asking right now, and it's going to take a little while to go through them. By my count, it's got 6 really. So there's 2. We're not going to count the hallway. We've got this storage room here. Bring us back into the main room. I'm not counting this as spare. Arguably it is, but I'm not going to call it spare. Got a nice little cupboard here. Right, it's a toilet, so. Can we get through? No, we can't get through this. What's the option? Door unlock. There we go. I don't like it, but we're gonna have to break the shutter to get through. If you were to, you could do that really if you wanted to. You could treat this as a room. This one. Oh yeah, it's there. Never mind. You could treat this as a room, and if you're gonna get through, you're gonna have to break something, whether it's a wall or the shutters. With a sledgehammer, you can do both, so it doesn't really make much difference either way. Got to do this one as well. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get into these things. Objects, door unlock. There we go. And then you've got this back room, which I'm sure has got a light switch somewhere. There it is, hidden behind the door. And then you've got this room. I would consider this to be a spare room, much like the in the last place. But the thing about this one, which makes it a bit more awkward, is that you can't. The only way you can get into it is through the back way, or any wall that you break down. But with all these bits and bobs in the way, you'd have to disassemble the counter, which I can't do because I haven't got a sword on me, to be able to make a doorway through these brick walls. You're not going to want to take apart these containers because they're containing weapons. You might want to reorganize them, but you wouldn't necessarily want to take them apart. Which makes the whole thing a bit awkward to work with. This would work best as a storage room for all the crap that you don't really need, I think, personally. But no, like in the last one, you've got lots of weaponry related bits and bobs. How many rooms did we say that was? Sorry, I've lost count now. I think it's 6. So you got 1, 2. I'm not going to count this one. 3, 4, 5. And then you got the toilet that was in here. which again I probably wouldn't count that as a spare room normally, but when you combine that with the other one that we're not counting, we'll call it 6. The fact that there's 5 is enough for it to get full marks anyway, because it's 2 points per room. So you know, is it easy to secure? Now I'm gonna do the walk around the outside for you. When there we go. So I don't know if you heard that, but pardon me. I've not long had lunch. So we're going to start around the outside. And this whole wall has only got one entrance. It is a door. It's locked, it seems, as well. Come on. Come on, let's just open it just so you can see where it goes. That leads out to here. So got 1, 2, 3. Hello, Mr. Zombie. 3 so far. I already know how many it is, but I'm showing you because then you know. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 windows. Anything more than 20 means it doesn't get any points. 20 plus means it doesn't get any points. So it's not getting any points for the fact that there are 27 different places you need to barricade. Now, you could, I was thinking, I was actually talking this over with my son, you could, in theory, write off this big room here. And then you've got yourself, what is it, 4... I think it works down to 7. Yeah, 7 places. Because you've got this window, there's a window here, and the back room. So you've got those 3. And then these 4 doors, the 2 for here and the 2 for there. That does mean you lose the big room, but if you have that as, it makes it a lot more viable. But for the sake of argument, I'm only mentioning it. If I was defending this place, I would want this room for all the storage capabilities that come with it. I like having a lot of space so that I've got space to work with. I'd like having the easy access to all the bits and bobs that we can either use or not use accordingly. Like if I want to break down all these containers or these shelving, I should be able to do that. If I want to move the crates so I can put them somewhere that I want, treat them how I want, organize them how I want the space to be able to work with that. You know, that's the way I play. Obviously we all play slightly differently. That's how I would do it. We can, rather lovely, we can sleep in these tents, so you don't actually need to have a bed because you've already got a tent here. Something of interest actually, the last place had that as well. I didn't mention it, but it does. You've got tents here. You can sleep in these tents, no problem. So it's not easy to secure. Is it easy to expand? Well, it's a bit like the last place in that, depending on how you're working on it. Oh, that's that fire van. So let's just go check that out. Because if that's got no axe, no, it won't have an axe on it, right? I'm curious. I get distracted so easily, as you know. Huh, interesting. Anyway, yeah, where was I? Yeah, where was I? Well, yeah, expansion. So you could argue that if you are looking to expand, you don't need to. This would be your expansion. But there is something that caught my eye outside. I'm just going to take you. I was checking it out on the map. Big thank you already. I'm just going to say it now so I don't forget. Big thank you to the Project Zomboid map project people who allowed me to get a lot of these numbers before recording. Over this wall, this is one of the storage facilities that you can get into. And as always, I'm just going to break. Oh no, I'm just going to delete it because I can't be asked to destroy it. There we go. Oh, of course, it was a one fucking. You get your usual potential resources that you can get out of a storage facility. Now, I was checking it out. Obviously, you'd need to think about the zombies that are in the area, but with this big high wall, you've got this double gate that they can't. Well, I don't know if they can get through there, but it's not that hard to build. What is it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 walls there if you wanted to block it off properly. Block this off a bit. 1, 2, 3. there if you wanted to block those windows. And then depending on where you build your wall over here, you've got access to the back bit of that secure as well. I went all the way around the building. You got a fence, wall all the way. So they can't get in other than, where is it? Yeah, cool. They can't get in other than that front gate. So you secure that front gate and all of a sudden you've got all this extra area to work with if you want to. Now, there's not an awful lot of building involved, but it is a little more awkward than if you were just building a little bit of fence to cover a bit more anyway or whatever. In this particular case, I would recommend probably blocking off all the way up here, which means you wouldn't need to barricade this door. It's probably more costly than barricading the door, but it's something to consider. It's an expansion move rather than a proper full-on original plan. Again, you'd have to block this alleyway off, but if you did that, you wouldn't have to worry about these windows necessarily. And it's only one bit of wall as well. And then you'd probably want to block it off here, I would think. And again, you could ignore these windows as well. But when you think about it, it's expansion move, you'd probably just be unbarricading them. This is a building that's under construction, from what I gather. We're just going to have a quick look inside just to see if we can confirm that. Come on. Why is it none of these doors are just unlocked? Come on. There we go. Put the light on. Put the light on. Thank you. Yeah, there's some construction work going on in here, so you might get something worthwhile out of this. You've got an axe, saw, nails. So, I mean, they're helpful things for the situation we're in. Heck, you could probably finish this off if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it. I've got better things to do with my time than finish off buildings that fell over. Whoops. Finish off buildings that other people haven't finished working on. But if that's your cup of tea, you can do that. So yes, you can expand, but it's more complicated. So I'm going to call it 5 points for this one. It says space for generators, farming, and water. Now, farming, there's not a single bit of grass around us for quite some way. So I'm going to say there's no farming. Oh no, there's a little bit of grass here, but it's not secure, which is quite an important thing. If it's not secure, I don't trust farming on an area that isn't secure. Got a bit over there as well, but same issue. So I would say farming's a no-go for this. You have got the... Oh, God. I keep stopping. This keyboard's playing up. You have got... If you have barricaded the walls, sorry, the alleyways, you've got this area that you could put water in and that you could make a farm, but it's a lot of work. And generators, you've got enough inside rooms that you could justify putting a generator in. I'd probably put one in, if I can get there, the bathroom. Probably put one in here. Mostly because it is a fairly small room and it's not one that I'm going to spend that much time in. I mean, the sink will be helpful, but the toilet is basically worthless at the moment. Until they start bringing in toilet mechanics that actually matter, it's not worth the time. So, because there's a water space, not secure, but there is water space, because there is generator space, I'm going to give this 5 points as well. 2 for the water, 3 for the generator. Nearby resources. I'm not going to go for a wander because I cannot be bothered. But I know for a fact that there are a few food places around. I believe that's a restaurant. There is... Hang on, what was this? I will just check out which building next door, because I think the building next door was like a 7-Eleven type thing. Oh, it's a beer and liquor. Liquor? I hardly even know her. So you got beer. Maybe there might be some snacks here. I don't know. I don't go to liquor stores very often. In fact, we don't really have liquor stores here in the UK. We have what we call off licenses, and they sell pretty much everything else as well. So it's not just beer or liquor. There's no light switch anywhere in this fucking room, is there? Never mind. It's getting dark, which doesn't help. Oh yes, look, it's nearly midnight. Look,
So yeah, there is. I know there is food places around, but they're a bit far out. There's a medicine place. One of these is a vet's. I think maybe this one. Sod it. Let's have a look. I think it's an animal shelter, technically. Yeah, so it's an animal shelter. You can't see the sign, but it is. So there'll be some medicine in some of these rooms. I think this was a. Yep, there we go. Medicine. Laser blockers, that sort of thing. It's very dark in here, isn't it? I really should turn the lights on when I have a look. There we go. Not that it was worth it at that point. Hello. Again, some medicines, all that kind of stuff. You could loot this place. It's not too far away. Map wise, it's pretty damn close. You've got your auto shop here, Jim's auto shop. You've got some more warehouses nearby, which you could check out if you wanted to get some tools. I think somewhere along here, I'm not sure which building it is. One of these is a. Oh no, I think it might be up there actually. There's a baseball bat factory somewhere around here. Oh no, maybe it's this one. Oh no, I think it's one of these ones actually. So no, ignore that. It's a bit of a way. But all these black buildings are factories and warehouses and stuff, and that's just storage place. So you'll probably find something decent in there because there's always something decent. And then you've got all these other bits and bobs that you can check out as well. So I think there's viable places to check out in the area. I'm going to give it 6 points. I think food is probably going to be the hardest problem you've got, but I think this is a block of flats or apartments, if you will. Yes, Ducasa? Ducase? I think it should be Ducasa, right? Mikasa and Sukasa. No, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. But apartments, obviously, there's going to be food in these. Oh, what's this? That's probably the super's office. Never mind. So let's just head to a random apartment. It's so dark in here. I don't know how well you can see this. There we go. Random apartment. What food have they got? Yeah, they got some food. Not a lot, but this is just one. Very noisy. I mean, one could argue this would probably be worth checking out as well. The apartment block, like as a place to go. I'm just gonna go outside. Oh look, I'm on the roof. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, this would be a perfect place to put some water collectors if you wanted to. That wouldn't be able to be plumbed into anything unless you barricaded that down. But you know, you could do that. Huh. I'm gonna have a little look around here, but I'm gonna wait until it's light. So we'll come back to the. Forgot what we were looking at. No, we're not. We're gonna finish this off first, and then I'll come back. I'll look in my own time. So, yes, ready prep. That's what we're looking at. Population of zombies isn't actually as bad as I expected it to be. And there is a few, but it is only a few. So I'm actually going to give it 15 points for this, which is very much a surprise to me. But it doesn't seem to be all that busy. So 15 points for that. I'm going to have to crack out the calculator. Oh, come on, pen. There we go. I've got an actual workbook that I'm writing all this stuff down in. Purely because if I don't, I'll get lost and forget what I'm thinking. And I've done most of the points already because I've looked, I've seen whether it's got stairs, I've seen how many windows are around, all that kind of crap. I've done a lot of maths, but I can't see what the population's like without coming in the game. You see, so I've got to do that to get the scores. So yeah, 5 points for being upstairs, for not having an upstairs. 10 points for the spare rooms. He doesn't get any points for how easy to secure it is. I'm giving it 5 for the expandability, giving it 5 total for generators, farm, and water space. Gets 6 for local resources. It gets 15 for the local population. Gives it a total of 46 out of 75, which so far puts it in the lead. This may be a fairly decent place in the grand scheme. Expensive to secure, but worth it in the long run, perhaps. But we will have to check that out.
In the meantime, I'm going to find the next place, which will be the West Point gun range. And then, very importantly, I'm going to wait until it gets light. So it'll probably be like 6 a.m. on the old clock when we restart. But yes, for now, West Point gun range, that's the next place. And I will see you there. Hello! We now are at the West Point. I was told it's the West Point gun range. It does say guns and ammo on it. That would be located here in the northeast, the very far northeast corner of West Point, which, as you know, is probably the nearest major settlement to Louisville. I know is it Valley Station around here, but it's a bit weak. Valley Station, there's not an awful lot going on, but we will come back to that. So yes, West Point gun range. I'm gonna put the axe away. I don't need that anymore. We're gonna do a quick lap. There was actually something here I couldn't work out without coming on. I couldn't quite tell. No, as far as I'm concerned, there is one way into the entire structure. Again, shutters. We're not counting shutters at all. So that's a thing that we can't deal with. Shutters that we can't deal with here. Which means you've got this one way in. Of course, it's fucking locked, isn't it? Door unlocked. There we go. You will have to break, with your sledgehammer, some shutters to get in. I'd recommend doing the 2. So you got a bit more leeway. But you only have to barricade for one door. Right? That's all you got to do. I wouldn't necessarily barricade it either, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get out. Right? But it's one thing to consider is that it's actually only a one entrance door, one entrance building, which means you get 9 points straight away for that. Because I'm rounding it, you lose points for every 2. Because we've got 1, I'm not gonna take a half point off. That'd be silly. So I'm gonna take a whole point off. Gives it 9 points for that. Again, no upstairs, only gets 5 points for that. Spare rooms. That is next on my list. Well, second on my list, at least, of things to think about. Stairs, spare rooms, how secure. Very out of order, I must say. Spare rooms. There's this one main room, and then you've got 2 fairly small storage rooms. It's a toilet, but you could use it as a storage room. Which does limit your options somewhat. It does, because it does have the 2 rooms, it does get 4 points for it. But it's not. Sorry, got an itch. There we go. It was in my head before anyone worries. It's not very good for additional storage. And realistically, I'd want to use this as a generator room anyway. I'll take the toilet out, use it as a generator room. So it's only really got the 1 spare room as far as I'm concerned. But I'm going to give it the 4 points anyway, because that is how it is accurate with its 4 points. Is it easy to expand? Well, we're just going to have a little look around the outside. And quite honestly, there's fuck all for you to build off of. You got a building over here, but it'd be a hell of a lot of wood getting to and from. Twiggy's Bar, not a terrible place in itself, but you've got nothing to work with as to expand it. You can get all your wood. If you've got an axe, you can chop all your wood, no trouble. Got all these trees around. But without something to build to, you'd be expanding, say, popping a little doorway here, or like an extra bit of room here, or maybe expanding this out a little bit. And outside of that, there's not a lot more that's worth doing without you're just building yourself a new building. I don't know about you, but I don't want to. I don't come to a building with intent to expand it and then go ahead and just build my own instead. It's not how this works. The loot's fine. But again, this doesn't feel like very much of a hole up. Well, it is not very much of an expand place. In terms of generators, I've already talked about how I'd probably use that one for my generator space. Oh, I'm very tired. I spent a lot of time playing Starfield lately, and that's been keeping me up late. And that's, yeah. Feel free to leave comments about Starfield. They're not relevant to the video at all, so why you would, I don't know, but you could. You can tell I don't script any of this, can't you? I just make it up as I go along, hope for the best. The scores are written down, with the exception of the population scores. I've already worked them out. Everything else I just make it up as I go along. It's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Sorry. Just amused, because I'm so easily amused. There we go. Don't know why I'm doing that. I think I just want to shoot something. Oh, I forgot about the... Never mind. I would turn it off, but so that they can hear me, but I can't be bothered with it. Ghost mode is so much easier. So, yeah, generators, farming, and water. You could put plenty of water collectors out here. I suppose, in theory, you could probably get up onto the roof if you wanted to. Shall we see what the deal is with stairs? Whoops, that's not quite close enough, is it? I mean, that was a terrible place for me to put the stairs. What am I playing at? There we go. Let's try that instead, shall we? I have a feeling that that's not actually a solid roof. The way that it's allowed us to put those stairs there, makes me think that's not solid. Oh, it is solid. Okay. And so is this. Interesting, but that's got specific flooring there. So, in theory, actually, you could put water collectors. This is quite interesting. I didn't think about this. Where is it? Where's the thing? Is it furniture? Yeah, there we go. You could put your water collectors on here. And I should think they would fill up. And then put a sink-like structure underneath. It won't even let me fall off there. That's interesting. There we go. You could put a sink-like structure in this section over here. And then all of a sudden, you've actually got something you can plumb in. So that, I'm not going to give it much more points still. I'm still going to give it the 8 points. Because a lot of it isn't secure. The farming in particular isn't secure. And you've got to do a lot of work to get... You've got to build stairs. And stairs, normally... What's for carpenter? So I'm just going to delete my shame there. There we go. The carpentry for stairs is level 6. Which is a bit of an ask so early on. Which means that you're going to be wanting to spend a bit of time with it as it is anyway. Hopefully you wouldn't need to stress too much. Hopefully you'll be able to get to level 6 carpentry before the water shuts off and whatever settings you've got. But any off chance that you can't, you might be... Sorry. You might be stuck trying to work out how you're going to get water safely into your area. Something to consider is that it's actually fairly quiet. There's not been that many zombies around, so I'm going to give it the 15 points for that. Just going to skip over to that quickly. I expected there to be more. When it comes to nearby resources, that's something to consider. You've got your tools down here on your map. You've got that's a medicine place. That's a Gigamart, I believe. This one. No, it's a Spiffos. There is a Gigamart around here somewhere. Is it this one? It might be this one. Let's just see if we can get in the back. No. Yeah, there we go. So you got a Gigamart here, which is actually the second, maybe the third nearest building. Is that grass or is that building? That's just grass, isn't it? Yeah. So you got that's where is it? There we go. Fantastic. So that's the gun shop there. The West Point gun range, as far as I'm concerned. You got a Twiggy's bar there, which not a terrible location in itself. You've got Gigamart, you've got medical supplies, that's some sort of factory building. That I think is a police station or a church. That's a town hall, sorry. Because one of my recent playthroughs, I set up a base here. Upstairs in this area. Don't know why I'm telling you, but that's what I did. You got your storage and factories over here. I think this is storage. I think that's a factory. So you've got a few options. Something tells me that this is a car. Yes, it is. You've got a car repair place. So you've got your... No, come on. Come on. You got your garages. I don't know why I'm trying to do that one. It does not want me to open any of these doors safely, does it? There we go. You got your car place if you want to nick that, pimp your ride, as it were. You've got options here for that. So all in all, you've got quite a lot of individual bits and bobs that you can get to. I've given it 8 points because you've got your medicine, you've got your tools and your weapons, you've got your food. It's actually quite well situated because of how far out of a way it is compared to the rest of not West Point, yeah, West Point. Because of how far out away it is when it comes to West Point, you've not got that many zombies to deal with, as we've previously mentioned. So all in all, when you consider calculator again, good old Casio, it gets 5 points for not having an upstairs. It gets 4 points for the spare rooms, although they are quite small. 9 points because there's only one way in, unless you make more. Just to clarify that, if you make extra doorways, that's on you. But the base structure itself has only got one way in, and it is that one door at the front. Because there's no easy way to expand it, you doesn't get any points for that. It gets an extra 8 points because of the farming and the generator and the water situation. I suppose you could, in theory, use water over here if you can be asked to trek all the way over to there. Probably not that much further. I'm just going to check with my fingers because that's an entirely reliable way of measuring. It's about as far as it is to the gigamark. This distance is about as far as this distance. So all in all, if you can be asked to walk to the gigamark, you can be asked to walk to the water, right? I can't remember if I did that on there. Right, so I'll start again. 5, 4, 9, 8. Okay, yeah. 8 for there being the food, medicine, and tools. Relatively close. Relatively close. There we go. And then 15 because it's so down quiet. That makes it 49 points, which puts that... My pen's not working. There we go. That puts that top of the list so far, which is incredibly helpful for some people, I'm sure. Very good score, actually. 49 out of 75. I'm pretty impressed with that score. Yeah. What is that? That's like... That's a little over 3/5 of the possible score. So yeah, remember this could well be a good place for you to settle. Maybe not settle necessarily, but at least consider if you are in West Point. So next up, we're going to go to the AA Ron Hunting Supply Store, which is also on the outskirts of Louisville. So I will see you there. This is the AA Ron Hunting Supply Store. For those of you that watched the fire stations video, you'll find that this is the Outpost fire station, and the hunting supply store down here is one of the things that made this such a worthwhile location. I can't remember what was in there, but we're going to go have a little look, see? Oh yeah, we didn't have a look, didn't have a proper look. So let me just destroy that quick. There we go. Where's the light switches on these things? Is it... I don't know where it is, and it annoys me, but I can't find it. Now it's a mirror. Interesting. Come on. Come on. Oh, that made me jump. That made... I really do not get on with the noises in this game. I can't see a light switch on there. I don't know if it's just because it's hidden behind... No, I don't think there's a light switch. I can't find one in here either. I can't see it on the wall. Maybe it's in this bit. No, because that's it. It's a bit lighter. Maybe there isn't a light switch, and that is a big issue as far as I'm concerned. I quite like being able to light stuff up, which sounds like some sort of arsonist, but you know what I mean. Contextually, you understand what I'm talking about. I suppose if it was going to be anywhere, it'd probably be over here, wouldn't it? Over here, maybe. Can you see it? I can't see it. No, very strange. Very strange. I'm very surprised by all this. Kind of thrown me for a loop, as I believe some people say. Yeah. Anyway, so it's only got one entrance. Again, unless you make more. You've only got this one entrance, not counting shutters. One way in, no stairs. Spare rooms, it's got the 2. We've already seen them. You've got the one spare room that's like a bathroom. You got a one spare room that's actual proper storage. I don't know what that banging is. Someone's banging something. Yeah. So quite a small structure, but again, the last one was fairly small. Nice big room. This actually provides quite a nice partition. You could probably consider this to be storage and that to be living area. or vice versa, depending on your own personal preference. Up to you. You play how you play. I would probably treat this top section as living area. Get rid of that. So I've got 2 ways in and out. And then you've got your main storage area. But you do you. Yeah. Something to consider. Someone is banging and it is annoying me. Oh, they're trying to break that door open. Can I just open it for them? Save them the hassle. There you go. You're welcome, mate. Didn't even get a fucking thank you. Bloody ridiculous. Yeah, so no stairs means it gets 5 points. Spare rooms means it gets 4 points, and with a 1-way in, just like last time, it gets 9 points. Is it easy to expand? This is an awkward one because a bit like the last one, you could, in theory, knock down a wall and then block this off. No, not the last one. With the ready prep place, you could, in theory, block this anyway off. 2 at each end. That means 4 walls. You'd lose a point for that. Knock down one of the walls here, and then you've got access to these bloody doors. Then you've got access to brighted whites, which again, 3 ways in at the moment, 4 ways in. It gives you a few more rooms you can play with, if that's how you want to play it. I wouldn't say that's worth it, personally. Brighted whites is not the best place to be moving into. Milk and More, on the other hand, same situation, only there's a lot more windows to cover, and it's a food supply store. So if you wanted to, you could do that, so you don't have to keep actively looting it. But you've got the one back entrance, window. Right, what is that? So you got the back entrance, you've got this window. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ways in. Which makes that a bit more tricky. Has got a roof, something to consider. But in the grand scheme of things, what's the roof situation over here? In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it is worth. I always forget where the stairs are. I don't think it is worth expanding from here. I just want to see what happens if you completely miss the stairs. So this, maybe not all of it, but some of it at least, is solid roof. Oh, no, there we go. I fell through some of it. I don't know what the definitions of the parameters are, but you can clearly see that some of that roof was solid and buildable on. So you could probably use that for water if you wanted to. Sorry, I never did inside you a score. Because of the easy to expand situation, yes, it is easy to expand it, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to give it 7 points with the caveat that it is not worth expanding. Clearly, you can do some stuff on the roof. Again, like last time, you could do that. Maybe that'll help with your water situation. Is this a bathroom, is it? Yeah. This is we're over bathroom right now. So 1 water collector on here. Or a few water collectors. And all of a sudden, we don't need to worry quite so much about the fact that the water will at some point get shut off. Stick your generator in there as well, and you've got a nice storage supply area for your water and your gas. Oh look, we've got a mate. Wasn't expecting that. Push him off. Die, motherfucker. There we go. Get off of my roof. Hey, you. Get off of my roof. This is faceplant. Bastards. So yeah, it's not worth expanding, but you have got space for your generator and your water and your farming. In theory, you could do in the back, but it's not secure. Oh no, hang on. You could do that out back, but it's not a secure thing for you to place for you to be working with. So it doesn't get a lot of points for that. I'm giving it 7 total. Because the water, if you're going to have any water storage, it's going to be outside, and it's going to cost you what with these stairs. Keep pointing with my hand. That's not very helpful. The need to build stairs to get up there weakens the concept to me, like completely. It makes it a much weaker place to go, a route to go down. It gets to 7 points, but it's the caveat of the hard work that you'll have to put into both securing your farm, if that's what you want to do, and into making your stairs so you got somewhere decent to put your water. Generator's fine in your bathroom. It's not a big deal there. But, you know, it's up to you, isn't it? In terms of nearby resources, when we were talking about the outpost, we were saying that the biggest thing it was missing was medical supplies. Everything else you could sort of get in a local area. Medical supplies were a bit more hit and miss because it relied on what you could find from nearby houses. Now, you've got a few nearby houses here, but all the other side of things you've actually already got. And you've got the caveat that this time you've got the outpost as a lootable location rather than your base. So I'm going to give it the 8 points for that. You've got access to food, as we've already seen. You've got tools, you've got weapons. There's a gas station here, which means you've got gas. I'm going to go check that out for you. Oops. I forget that you can't actually jump in this game. I've been playing so many games where you can't jump. I completely forgot about it. You got your gas station, or if you prefer, like I do, your petrol station. So you've got that supply as well. It's not something I normally consider, but given the fact that we're on the outskirts of Louisville, you're probably going to want a car of some sort. It's something to really think about. What is this car? What is that on the side? McCoy Logging Company. Does that mean that they'll have like an axe or something? They do. Who'd have thunk it? Obviously, that's a randomly spawn. You can't count on that if you ever play from here. But just I do like an axe. I love a good axe, me. I didn't realise that those vans spawned, those trucks, pickups, cars. I don't know what it is for you guys. I would call that an SUV. Personally, that looks like an SUV to me. In fact, we've got some cars that look a bit like that at work. All the important people drive them, so naturally I don't. I've got a Honda. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Less about that. What's the local population like? It doesn't actually seem. It still gets on my nerves. The banging does annoy me. Objects. There we go. The population isn't actually all that busy. It's fairly quiet. I'm going to give it 10. No, I've got to give it 15 because it's not that busier than the last place. It's not busy enough for me to justify knocking it down. So 15 points for that. And that, right off the bat, means I think this might end up being the best scorer so far and possibly the best scorer overall. Because we've got 5 for there only being a downstairs, 4 for the spare rooms, 9 for security, 7 for expansion. It's caveat, remember that? Remember what I said about that? 7 for the generators, water and farming, 8 for nearby resources, and then 15 for the population, puts us on 55 points. 55 points. Now I happen to know that the next 1 and or 2 places already lose 20 points. Like they've already lost 20 points right off the bat. So I reckon that this right here is going to end up being the best, using this slightly flawed, only slightly flawed scoring method and look through and all that kind of crap that we're doing. This may well be the best gun shop for you to work with. Just want to double check what sort of loot we actually get out of it, because again, that's something that matters. We've not really covered it, but you know, you got shotgun stuff, you got pistols, revolvers, magazines, guns, ammo. You got plenty of different bits and bobs for your gun shop use needs. Bit of storage solution. You know, I think all in all the loot's worth it as well. And I'm not much of a gun user in this game, hence the difficulty that we had with the rifle. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a bad place. So something definitely worth considering. Next up, we're going to go to the well, I believe it's called Knob Creek Hunting Lodge in Valley Station. So I will see you there. Welcome to the Knob Creek Hunting Lodge. Now, the thing about the Hunting Lodge, in this save at least, I don't know if that is standard or what the situation is. in this save, there are no guns in here. There's only ammunition. And not a lot of it either. So I've included it. I was going to just treat it as normal, but then I checked around. And actually, it seemed like it was worth pointing out, specifically pointing out, that this does not have any guns. So, have a little wander around, shall we? Is there an upstairs? Based on the fact that I've already told you that none of these places have upstairs, you should know already that there is no upstairs. But some of you might have forgotten that, so I'm going to tell you again. There's no upstairs for any of these places on the map that we've looked at today, or what we're looking at today. So only gets to 5 points. Spare rooms. There is a hell of a lot of spare rooms. I'm not going to go through each of them. I mean, this is a room. Technically, this is the same room. Where's the light switch over here? I didn't notice that. Technically, this is the same room. I would treat them as different for the sake of spacing. This little hallway doesn't really count, but you've got a bathroom here, bathroom here. I'm going through them, even though I said I wouldn't. You've got a long hallway, a little hallway, storage room with the ammo that I've mentioned. Both only got ammo in. Bit disappointing. Nothing on the shelf either, don't worry. Another storage. Then you can go through here into this section. And like before, this might well be where I ended up putting my bed or whatever. Might be in this area. I'll probably clear out maybe 1 or 2 of these for easy access. Ignore this bit, treat that as a little bit of storage, probably take the doors off and all of it, and use that as my bedroom. Everything else we'll have to tackle as and when. I didn't see any cooking facilities. Might be a microwave somewhere, but it does mean that it's probably not the most inviting place to live right off the offset. But yeah, plenty of spare rooms, so it's going to get the full 10 points for that. Is it easy to secure? I, by my reckoning, counted 14 entrances. We're going to go up to this corner. And we're going to do the loop, like we always do. Important to do it fairly, and I might have missed one when I was doing the count before, and at least this way, if I do miss one, you can point it out. Because you'll definitely be paying attention, right? Of course you will. So, 2 windows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for a door, 11, 12, 13, 14 with this window. That's 14 ways in. Get 7 points because we take off a point for every 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Loses 7 points. Hey, at least I'm consistent, right? Is it easy to expand? As I've mentioned in previous places, there's not really anywhere to work from. You could probably get onto the roof. In fact, let's check that out because it's important to. I always forget where the stairs are. It's important to make sure that we know what we're talking about if we're gonna say shit like this. So let's check out and see if we can get onto the roof. Oh look, we can get onto the roof. I don't know how much of it is solid. Not a lot of it. It did not like us falling through that, did it? There we go. Not a lot of it is solid. So you probably have to make your own flooring to cover the gaps between this section and that section. I should think realistically, all this is solid right up until that point, and then it's not solid at all right up until this point. Looks about right, all things considered. So, yeah. I don't think I saw any sinks apart from the bathroom ones, which are here. One's there and one's there, if I remember correctly. So that'd be your best bet for putting water supplies on top of that one. Point is, though, it's not easy to expand. You've got plenty of wood around. You've got trees you can chop down, get some wood. But in terms of where you would build, not an awful lot of options. You would have to end up making your own structure again. You will notice, I'm just going to run over here. Oh no. You will notice this little building. Now this little building is not worth anything of value in itself, but I did notice that there's some more ammo over here as well. Looks like 3 windows by my count. 1, 2, 3. Just go around the outside quick. I can try to find, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, three windows. But it's not worth using this as a defensive location. If you wanted to, you could get a bit of ammo. You've got your water storage, water stuff. I don't think it's worth it. So back to the main building, the actual lodge itself. This, I don't know why I've come onto the roof. It's not easy to expand. Why am I? Oh no, this is I've recorded it in a slightly different order to how I had sorted out the scores in the preamble. So I was looking at the wrong column, and I couldn't understand why it would have 7 points for it, but it doesn't. It doesn't get any points for it because there's nothing to really work with for expand. It's a space for your generators, your farming, and your water. Well, I've already talked about water. You could potentially put some water collectors on the top there. You might have to build some roofing to cover that, but again, it's a lot of work. It's not necessarily worth it. It's not very secure, but it's very much like the West Point gun range in that sense. You could do this stuff. It's not secure, but it does exist as an option. So I'm going to give it the 8 points. It's got nearby resources. Well, truth be told, this is West Point. No, not West Point. This is Valley Station. You've got a few buildings over here, quite well spaced out. But beyond that, you've got a few houses. I don't know what this blue one is. I always forget what blue is. Oh, it's a motel. Guns Ablazing Motel. So you probably have something worth nicking from there. But outside of that, there's not an awful lot going on. What's this building? Oops. I don't know what this building is. Can we check this out? Busy, whatever it is. Looks like some place where some people go every now and again. It's not a very loot friendly area. It's the gist of what I'm saying here. There is nothing around that is worth your time and attention. I hate to say it, but it's true. Next question, how busy is it? Now, obviously, population-wise, you can see there's a bit of stuff going on. I've just thrown a noisemaker down to see what comes out of the trees. Because it's not very easy to see what's hanging out of the trees without either calling it out, which I've never done before. I've never used a noisemaker before. But I did mention one earlier, so it's only fair that I test it out for you. Not an awful lot has been dragged out of the trees for us. I'm surprised by that. I thought there'd be a lot more. So maybe it's fairly quiet. It didn't look very quiet when I was checking something out earlier. But maybe it's quiet. Maybe they're all shambled off. That is part of the problem, of course. So again, with trees, you can't properly judge it. I'm going to give it 10 points for that uncertainty. Yeah, some more coming out there, look. And obviously you saw how close and busy that other building, literally just here on the map, was. So I'm going to give it the 10 points. 10, come on. There we go. 10 is playing up. That is 10 for years. I never use it. Right, gonna add up. Don't distract me. Please don't distract me anymore. 5 points because there's no upstairs. 10 points because there's plenty of rooms. 3 points because it's fairly easy to secure, but there's quite a lot of windows. You don't get any points for the expansion because there's no way of expanding it, really. You get 8 points for being the insecure generators, farming, and water location. Plenty of grass. Trouble is, it's all surrounded by open area or trees, and that is always a bit risky. Always very risky. No nearby resources, but it does get 10 points for being moderately quiet, let's say. Potentially deceptively so. That gives it 36 points, which actually makes it the second weakest structure so far. It is not ideal. Now, I would normally take a little break in between, but very close to here, you'll see the shooting range. Oh, God, I do not like... It doesn't like teleporting, does it? I'm going to do a lap of a shooting range. I wasn't entirely sure if this was worth mentioning at all today, because I wasn't sure if there was going to be any guns. I didn't have a look over here. But arguably, the fact that I did find a gun in here, an M36 revolver, actually makes this a more viable gun store, in quotation marks, which I did with my fingers if you didn't notice, because you wouldn't notice. This actually makes it a more viable gun store than the Knob Creek Hunting Lodge. So ridiculous if you ask me. As before, doesn't have an upstairs. I am really losing it, aren't I? What am I doing? Spare rooms. Has it got any spare rooms? Well, it's got that. By my previous standards, that is a different room. So that's one. Got two. Don't know why that's playing up like that. You got the hallway here. So you got this room. 3, 4, 5. Mixed sizes, I would say. You could argue that this is probably a different room. I probably wouldn't. I'd say that this is all one room. This side of the wall and that side of the wall. One room. That'd be where I'd lived. Not lived, but bed at least. And then you got some extra storage bits and bobs. So it gets 10 points for that. Remarkably, it gets 10 points. They're all fairly small, actually, in the grand scheme of things. But it's still 5 rooms. We're going to do the lap, but by my count, there was 19 entrances. Counting windows and doors, 19 entrances. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bit of aircon there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then nothing else until this top corner again. So yeah, 19. Per the rounding, like it gets no points for it. It gets no points for security because it's got it's a very insecure building. And if we made less jokes about its weight, maybe it'd feel a bit more secure. But yeah, I know. It was bad. I feel bad about it, but too late now. Is it easy to expand? No. As before, I'm not going to bother doing the lap around, but you can see this isn't even a proper structure. There's some walls, but it's all fences and openness, so you can't count that. There's nothing for you to really build off of to expand. So no points for that. Nearby resources. No, sorry, no. I always skip this. Water farming and generators. Again, you could put a generator on the inside one of these smaller rooms. You've got your grass if you want to have an insecure farm as well. You got your water collector space. I just want to double check what these rooms were because it's not always easy to see on the map website that I go to. Yeah, so you got bathroom here, bathroom here. Can we get on the roof? It's a flat roof, which actually, in terms of this game at least, is a bit of an advantage. Because it means that it's going to be all solid. Or at least I should think it means it's all going to be solid. Yeah, so you could put your water collectors on, but again, and this keeps coming up, it does mean that you're going to end up with a situation where you need to be able to carpent. Carpent? Would that be the word for carpentry? You have to be able to woodwork quite well because you need your level 6 carpentry. It's just, I always do that, keep forgetting. It's not an ideal solution. I know I keep mentioning it, I keep telling you about it because you can do it. If you want to do it, you can absolutely do it. It takes more work, and I don't think it's worth the effort. It is not my preferred method unless I'm doing what I consider to be a late game build. I will. Sorry, I'm yawning again. I will absolutely go to a school like in, say, West Point. I'll go to the West Point school. I'll even show you it. I'll show you it now. Because, is it this one or is it this one? No, that's the church. Always forget what building it is. Always forget because I'm not an idiot, but I do act like one. Is it this one? Yeah. I'll go to a school like West Point School and I will set up a base upstairs if I can get up there, which I seem to be struggling with a bit. I don't remember what school it was I did last time because I don't think it was West Point actually. I'd knock the walls down, and then I'll get on the roof, and you know, you've got these areas that you can use to get onto the roof relatively easily, and then all of a sudden you've got all this space for farming and you know, and water collecting. I will use that method. I'll do it myself, but it's a late game development. It's really bugging me, but I don't know which school it was now. Maybe it was this one. Yes, it was this one. I forget what place this is. Riverside, is it? Yeah, this is Riverside. So, you know, I will use, because what I ended up doing, and I will show you. Come on, game. Door unlock. There we go. I managed to secure the entire outside. It was a fairly safe game mode. I prefer to play without it being too much of a threat, to be honest with you. But I knocked the stairs down, both ends. Stairs there, stairs up here. And then I turned this into my main base. Knocked down half of this wall, so I had 2 classrooms, one of which was barricaded in case I'd missed a zombie. And then I turned this into a way down, and that into a way down. And that's fair enough. Nice and easy. No problems there. Plenty of storage, plenty of stuff to break down. I looted the entire school. Took a long time because it's all heavy stuff. Came out here, because this is all roof work that you can deal with. Come up here, put a little fence around. Don't know who shot that. Put a fence around the roof, because you can do that. Didn't bother putting a fence around here. And because I didn't realise I'd changed the settings on the water collectors, I'd worked out where the sink was that's inside this classroom. And I worked it out, I counted it out. I think it was around about there, give or take. So I put a water collector there. Oh, I was a little bit off. I put a water collector, like literally 3 of them around the sink. So it used to have to be adjacent and above. Right? Now it's a 3x3 grid centered on the sink. So it's a lot easier now. But you can do that. You can do that in any structure. I know this is really tangential to the point that I was making, but if you have the carpentry skill and the determination, you can absolutely make any sink into a refillable situation. You can do that, but it's not always worth doing. The only reason I did it here was because I'd determined that I was going to turn the school, I was going to clear the school and turn it into a base. I had been playing with a friend. We sort of stopped playing it, and I was trying to encourage him that we were going to do that, and because we didn't, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to try it myself, and I did it, and it worked. It is workable. It works as a solution. It's just a lot of work, and I know I've said work a few times there, but it's important that you understand that. It really matters to me that you understand. But you can do a lot in this game if you can be asked. You know, you really can. Nearby resources. We're not that much different to where we were a minute ago. This is Knob Creek up here. I love that name, Knob Creek. I'm very immature. I don't know what this building is. We'll go check that out in a minute. But you've got Knob Creek Hunting Lodge here, and you've got the shooting range over here, which means you don't have very many differences in terms of what you can have access to. So I'm still going to give it 0 points for this one. Little cafe down here. So I don't even know what they're not cooking anything or nothing on display. What have they got in the cupboards? Mugs. Who do they think? Who are they calling a mug? Like, there's literally nothing here. This is the worst cafe. What cafe only sells apples, lemons, fruit jam, and that's it? What kind of cafe is this? Is it a cat cafe? Oh, it's got curtains in the city. What kind of cafe has curtains in the bathroom? Because you know someone's going to nick them, and then everyone's going to be able to watch you whilst you're doing your wee. Or more than a wee. That's your style. Do you poop at work? Serious question. Do you poop at work? Answer in the comments, please. Yeah. And local population is around about the same sort of place again as Knob Creek. So I'm just going to give it the same score because you got the same drawbacks. So let's add that up. Okay, so you get 10 points for... No. I keep doing that. You get 5 points for not having stairs, 10 for the storage. You end up with 8 for what you can put in around the area. Again, a lot of work. I know I make a point of saying it, but it's true. And 10 for the population. And you end up with 33 points. So that, right now, is our worst scoring. It's almost like it wasn't worth me showing you it. But I could guarantee you someone would be like, well, what about the shooting range? This is the shooting range, and the shooting range is shit. If you want a base, this is not the place. If you want a base, it turns out that AA run hunting supply. If you want to turn a gun shop into a base, AA run hunting supply is the one to use. I wouldn't. I don't think a gun shop is the place for setting up a base. I think it's a terrible thing. I'm not a gun user. Maybe that stems in part from the fact that I'm British and guns are strange and alien to me. I have used guns before, but only recreationally. I feel very uncomfortable with the idea of owning my own. That's for sure. Oh, it's a zombie hiding behind the shooting target. I wonder if we could kill it if we'd shot through. We're not going to try it because my shooting skill is bad. What was we saying? Yeah, I'm British. We don't guns aren't really a thing over here unless you're an anti-terrorist police officer, you know. So I at least don't use guns in the game very often. I play all sorts of shooters just to clarify. I'll play shooting games, but in a game like this, I'm much more of a melee weapon user. I don't think the guns are a sensible idea because of the noise. The way that the zombies interact with noise means that it's not, to me, sensible to be a gun user. But someone suggested I do gun stores, so here I am having done gun stores. I would say the best one, if you're going to go with one, would be the AA run hunting supply. The fact that it is so bloody close to the outpost. Oh, something dramatic is going on. The fact it's so close to the outpost tells me that actually maybe... Oh, there we go. Oh, so close. Almost got it exactly right. The fact it's so close to the fire station outpost means that it's in a... I mean, that was the best one as far as I was concerned before. So maybe it's just this entire area. And when you've got the gated community that you could block off for 2 entrances to, or maybe it was 3 entrances to, and then all of a sudden you've got a much larger area to loot as well, because that wasn't a lot of wood that it would have taken to do that. It's silly things like that you need to consider when you play this game. This is not a good place, but the numbers suggest otherwise, right? The numbers say this is a decent place. It's definitely the best of a lot. I wouldn't pick it, but if you want to pick it, good luck to you. Let us know how it goes. Until then, right? Until you've done that, let me know what you want me to tackle next. I might do police stations next. I was going to do police stations today, but there were 6 of them, and when I was looking at gun stores, there weren't 6. There was only 4, and then all of a sudden I found 2 more potentials. I've probably missed one. The wiki isn't perfect, and I don't know the map inside and out, as you've probably noticed by now. But if you did want to, if you have spotted any that I've missed, let me know. I'll have a look through it myself and I'll comment what the score for it would be. I'll go through it all in a reply to you. In a personal, I will type it for you reply, because I'm good like that. You know, I've got nothing better to do, quite honestly. So yeah, just comment if I've missed anything. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to do next. It might be police stations, it might be whatever someone suggests, so feel free to do so. I wasn't going to do gun stores, but someone suggested it, and it was actually quite easy. Although it's quite a long video at this point. Getting on for 2 hours, so I should stop it here. Thank you for joining me. If you've stuck it out, great. If you haven't, I don't blame you. Although, if you haven't, you probably aren't listening to this. I have waffled for quite a long time. But thank you. Thank you. And I will hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.